Cutting-edge effects technology isn't always used to create cool explosions and giant robots. Released nearly 30 years after the original film, Tron Legacy is a computerized adventure packed with light cycles and Daft Punk music. Most importantly, this 2010 Disney film gave audiences double the dude. Jeff Bridges returned to the Tron universe as two separate characters. First, there's the heroic Kevin Flynn, who looks exactly like the older actor. But then there's Clue, the artificial intelligence gone rogue. And while he was played by a man in his 60s, this evil computer program looks more or less like Bridges did back in the 80s. VFX supervisor Eric Barba oversaw the transformation. He achieved it with a 4-camera head-mounted system that Bridges wore on the set to get a floating 3D point cloud of his face. The effect may look a little computery, but that's okay because, after all, Clue is a computer program. The tragic death of Paul Walker in 2013 sent a massive shockwave through the Fast and Furious community. After all, this is a franchise about family, and both Walker and his character of Brian O'Connor were super important to a whole lot of people. His death had serious implications for the production of Furious 7 as the actor died during filming. Fortunately, Weta Digital was able to save the day and preserve Walker's legacy for Fast and Furious fans around the world. The folks at Weta digitally created a whopping 350 shots of Walker doing everything from jumping skyscrapers to standing in a lineup with the rest of his crew. Additionally, Walker's brothers Caleb and Cody and actor John Brotherton gave motion capture performances that Weta used to recreate Brian. Thanks to their incredible work, he got to ride with his family one last time. When Kevin Spacey was accused by multiple victims of sexual assault, director Ridley Scott made one of the gutsiest decisions in Hollywood history. Spacey and Scott had recently finished working on All the Money in the World when the scandal broke. Unwilling to keep Spacey in the film, Scott replaced the actor with Christopher Plummer, reshooting every scene featuring Spacey's character, stingy billionaire J. Paul Getty. It was an unprecedented move, and it cost $10 million to exorcise Spacey from the film. Most of these scenes were done practically, with other actors on actual sets, but there is one quick moment in which Scott resorted to some digital trickery. For a scene in which Getty goes to Jordan, it was too impractical to go all the way back to the Middle East, so Plummer was shot in front of a green screen, and after the special effects crew digitally erased Spacey, they just slid Plummer right into place. 2017's Blade Runner 2049 was a beautiful follow-up to the original 1982 Blade Runner. It saw the return of Harrison Ford as Rick Deckard, but he wasn't the only original cast member to come back. During one key scene, the aging Deckard is confronted by a ghost from his past. It's Rachel, the replicant he fell in love with in the first film. Only, this isn't the Rachel that Deckard remembers. That Rachel is dead. This is a new shiny one, created solely to tempt Deckard to the dark side. And this isn't exactly the actress we remember either. In order to de-age Sean Young by over 30 years, the moving picture company analyzed photos of her, studied scenes from the first film, and even checked out Young's other performances from around the same era. They also photographed Young with a special device that captured her likeness from multiple angles. With all these references, they were able to create a CGI face that they could then layer onto a body double who shot the scene with Ford, with Young standing by as an advisor. Unlike many digital creations, the Rachel of 2049 looks incredibly lifelike, which is kinda perfect for a movie that wonders what makes us human. In this film about adult friends playing a game of tag for years and years, Jeremy Renner is an uncatchable man. He's been evading his buddies by moving like an Olympic athlete and dodging outstretched hands like he's in the Matrix. During one of these escape scenes, Renner jumped on top of a huge stack of chairs, which resulted in disaster when the rigging that held the chairs in place snapped and sent him tumbling. When Renner got up, he realized he'd broken both his arms. As he explained to Entertainment Weekly, he could still move his limbs up and down kind of like a robot, so he didn't need too much digital assistance. However, there is one moment when the VFX crew had to create a completely CG arm, and it's in the very scene where his stunt went wrong, specifically when he tosses a donut at Ed Helms. Needless to say, we're legitimately impressed that Renner could deal with all that pain and continue filming.